10 fine jewelry rings and whether they're worth it. Starting with my engagement ring and wedding band. Both are from James Allen, which is an online jewelry store slash marketplace. So you actually pick the stone in their marketplace. Think of it as like unbranded sellers. So you don't have to pay the markup of huge jewelry brands like Tiffany's to get stones of equal quality. Both of these bands are in platinum, and we picked platinum because it is a very, very durable. I think it's the most durable material in that it really does not tarnish, it doesn't break, it's harder than white gold or yellow gold. And this is actually a set. So as you can see, I have the Pave diamond on the top half of the band, but then the wedding band also nests very comfortably under my engagement ring. And at the setting of the engagement ring, it looks like so. I will say that I'm not sure if it's the case with all engagement rings, but I think because of this slight, almost like cagey design, I do think it easily gets dirty in terms of the bottom of the stone that's nested, inside this cage. So I do need to polish it once in a while to keep the stone really pretty and sparkly. For the engagement ring, as you can see, I have 2 rows of tiny Pave diamonds to essentially visually make this top look bigger. But if I were to do it again, I would actually do it without these 2 rows of Pave diamonds, because I think that way the center stone can shine a bit more. And now, yes, it does look visually very impactful, but I feel like it's almost a little bit too complicated. But I still really love the look of these rings. It's beautiful. I obviously will never get rid of them. And as you can see, they really help elongate the fingers. I actually don't have really long fingers, but because of the oval shape of the ring, it just visually makes my fingers look a little bit longer. Very comfortable to wear, definitely worth the money, especially if you think about buying the exact same set from something like the Tiffany's. I think the price difference would be at least, 10 times, if not higher. So definitely recommend James Allen, especially with their resizing window. At least with these rings, I had a year to resize, and that's crucial because your fingers may expand in the summer or when the weather is hotter. So you kind of want to give the rings 4 seasons to figure out the right size. The only other silvery looking fine jewelry ring is this one from Monica Vinader. This is their Riva. I think it's like the oversized Riva design. And this is actually sterling silver. And I would highly recommend against buying diamond pieces or precious stone on sterling silver, because the sterling silver tarnishes, or rather it requires lots of polishing. It's inevitable that you wear it, it gets oxidized, it turns dark. In fact, you might be able to see some of the corners here has tarnished a bit already. And this is even after putting this in enclosed storage. So sterling silver just needs a bit of TLC once in a while, although the design is very beautiful. But if I were to buy this again, I don't think they have white gold option, but if I were to buy a silver colored fine jewelry piece, I would go for white gold or platinum. And as you can see, sterling silver does look a little bit, almost like a little bit more white than the platinum, but they're quite similar. And of course, sterling silver is going to be way cheaper than platinum or white gold. But for longevity's sake, especially if you want to wear it every day, then I would just go for a stone that doesn't tarnish. Along the similar lines, this is another Monica Vinader piece. It's their kind of Art Deco type of design. I can't remember the name anymore, but I feel like this was popular maybe 10 years ago. And I actually got this in rose gold. This was when I first dipped my toes into fine jewelry. And I was also obsessed with pink at the time. So everything I own needs to be pink or rose gold. I just don't wear rose gold as much because rose gold has so many different shades across brands. It's really hard to find consistent rose gold colors, which means if you do want to go for a more matchy look, then it will be much harder if you buy rose gold from different brands. And also over time, rose gold color may change as well. So this is, I believe, rose gold vermeil, which again means that there is room for tarnishment. I think you can see, yeah, a little bit here. Similar to sterling silver, I also do not recommend mixing precious stone like diamond pave with anything that's vermeil, just because vermeil pieces, even though for the most part they do last pretty well, they eventually will tarnish, or if you wear them in water for too long, they will tarnish. And that again just adds more effort in maintaining the piece. Solid rose gold, on the other hand, is a different story. So if you do buy solid gold, again, it will never tarnish. This actually used to be a necklace, and this, my husband, well, my then boyfriend, bought it for me from Blue Nile, which is similar to James Allen, another kind of online jewelry marketplace and e-commerce company. And there's no markup from branding, so you know you're paying for the material. And I really liked this star pendant, but the necklace actually broke because it was really, really dainty. So then I went to my local jeweler to turn this into a ring, and it is very pretty. It's very subtle. I think if you are not sure what colored gold is best for you, whether it's white or yellow or rose gold, then going for a really, really thin band will give you a lot of flexibility in later on mix and matching it with pretty much anything else. Because here on my hand, yes, it is rose gold, but it doesn't actually look too, pink because the band itself is so thin compared to something that's more of a statement rose gold. You can kind of see the color of the metal a bit more obviously. So while this one I don't think is necessarily worth it, this ring, even though it would cost a little bit more than the rose gold vermeil, I do think it's worth it, especially if you just go for like a really thin band and you go to a local jeweler. I think you can actually get a pretty good deal from these precious metal and stone pieces. The only thing with the star design is it's a little bit hard to stack. I don't think I've ever worn this ring stacked, because let me just try it. It kind of looks, yeah, a little bit weird. I feel like the star design just looks best on its own. So if you are looking for fine jewelry for stacking purpose, then don't go for a pendant that's like a irregular and kind of big pointy shape. This is a fun piece from Cartier. It's the Trinity ring, in that you have 3 bands that are interlinked, so they do not get loose and you always have to wear all 3 bands together. They are made of 3 colors of solid gold. So you have rose gold, you have white gold, and yellow gold. I will say that white gold over time does turn a little bit dark. I don't think it's tarnishing. So if you want a silver colored precious metal that keeps a shine, then I would still go for platinum, because I've had this ring for 3-4 years now and it's still shiny as new, and I've never polished the platinum part of it. I think this ring is worth it if you can find it on the secondhand market. On Cartier, I believe this is close to 2,000. I'm not remembering the exact pricing, but I got it on eBay from a Japanese reseller. Highly recommend Japanese reseller for these designer pieces because they're not allowed to sell counterfeits. So I know this is real, and this also comes with original packaging. I believe I got it for under 600, which is just a really great deal. I mean, this is probably the price you'd pay for a local jeweler to make something similar. So really glad I found a good deal, and I just like how this is kind of a fidgety thing on your finger if you like to fidget. The only other Cartier ring I have is the Love wedding band, so it's the thinner version and it's in the yellow gold material. Really pretty, very comfortable. As you can see, it's really thin. I believe the regular Love ring is a little bit thicker than this, so I quite like that. This is really thin and dainty. It's perfect for layering. And I also bought this from Japanese reseller, which I think I paid maybe also around $600. It's like a third of the retail price, which is amazing. Again, jewelry just loses its value as soon as it's worn. So if you are looking for designer fine jewelry, definitely look into the secondhand market, especially for rings. I also have really skinny finger. I believe this is a size 4.5, and rings lose its value even more because it is more rare for someone with the same ring size looking for this particular ring. So the demand is going to be much less than a jewelry piece that it's more universally sized. Also, if you are particular with your jewelry being scratched, do not get this, because anytime you buy a piece with any sort of smooth surface, especially if it is solid gold, then it will get scratches. I don't mind because it is kind of just part of the story of jewelry, but if you want your jewelry to look always smooth, always kind of sparkling new, then just pick a design that doesn't involve like large area of smooth surface. This is actually my class ring from my undergrad. I went to University of Virginia, so you can see the UVA logo as well as the year I graduated here, and then even inside I have my name engraved alongside the band inside, as well as my graduation class here as well. This, I remember it was I think $425 because at the time it was a huge chunk of money, but this is solid gold. So if you want to get a kind of memorabilia of your institution, if your institution does offer class rings, I do think it's a really great, not so much as investment, but really just like a unique piece that you will cherish. And usually they don't want to price it so that nobody can afford it. So I feel like in that sense, it's usually a pretty good deal. This is the majority version of the Cartier ring. So instead of the Trinity rings 3 bands, this one has 2, and one is smooth, one is textured. This is solid gold. It's the dual ring from majority, and I actually like to wear it on my thumb. As you can see, it glides down comfortably. It is really, really comfortable to wear, and this is perfect for stacking. I mean, it itself looks like a stacked ring, so it's already got interest to it, but it's also dainty enough to stack with other rings. I would actually highly recommend this dual ring if you are looking into dainty but also interesting solid gold piece. It will never tarnish. It is shiny, it's comfortable, it's got really great design. I think you can really wear this with any ring stack that you have. So I really like the flexibility of this. In fact, besides my wedding and engagement rings, this might be my most worn ring, just because it's just so comfortable to just slide it onto my thumb and I can do whatever ring stack I want here and it'll go really well. Another major ring that I think is definitely worth the money is the Pave dome ring. So it's got the domed design and Pave diamonds. I think over half of the band. So very, very sparkly. And this is just a great hack to get that super sparkly diamond effect without paying for the price of a huge stone, because I think Pave diamond, especially when it's almost 3D like this in this domed design, it just looks so much luxe and so much more expensive than you might think it is. I mean, it's still not cheap. I think it's maybe over 900 now. When I got this, it was I think 800 something, and there was a Black Friday 15 or 20% off deal. So that was a great deal when I got this ring. But if I lose this ring today, I would go back and repurchase, because for under $1,000, it's really hard to find a ring that's kind of uniquely designed, but also has got so much sparkle to it, but it's also very everyday friendly. In fact, I think it'll stack really well with the other jewelry ring, the dual ring. Yeah, it's really pretty. I sometimes stack it with my Cartier love ring as well, or it probably goes really well with the Cartier Trinity ring for a more statement effect. So it's a statement on its own, but it's also a perfect stacking ring. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more jewelry videos.